Alright, so then, this is one of the levels that I actually was able to kind of redo, as you can probably tell by some of the lighting. And the FOV being higher too, so that was fun. So, here we go. This, I felt, would be a very fitting end to this journey of self-reflection and exploring the world around you. If the other path is death and destruction, if not to a bitter end or to a pathetic end where you await hope, not expecting to be forgiven for the mistakes that you have made and the people you've murdered, then this one is where you choose peace and you walk away. I really don't know if I would do a sequel or not. Being after the game, that is. For the longest time, I didn't know if it would work out, but hey, I'm making Rogue Planet 2, so there's that. Hopefully I can finish it. It's probably not going to look as crazy as this shit, but, it'll still look pretty good, I think. Hopefully it'll look a lot better. Performance-wise, it's already a lot better, I can tell you that much. And that's probably thanks to me making fairly basic maps on Unreal Engine 4, which is an engine that, all things is, considered as fairly reliable. Works. Now I ended up going with a sort of CRT look for things in here because I figured that would be a lot easier to hide kind of shitty looking textures. And yeah, it kind of was, thankfully. So hopefully that boosts the frame rate up a bit. And that's what I liked about Game Guru. You can just drag and fucking drop the entirety of the world in without hardly any coding needed, but that being said, there's a price to pay for things like that, Nothing in life is free, so as this game would kind of, ironically foreshadow, there's a price to pay for shit like this. Now, on the laptop it was developed for easily hits the 60 frames a second mark. It's just being slow and fucking dumb on this. And that's always fun. There's a bunch of Easter eggs and lore over there. Kent had a castle and a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he got the judge. So, for right now, I'm going to turn this off, turn this shit off. And that should do it. At least for a little while. So, there's an Easter egg here. You can see that Dexter actually had a chicken coop. So, no matter what ending you take in the good path, you actually do take the chickens with you. It's something that's not shown at the end, but Marcus does take them with him. Alright, let me turn the water back on. And it's that kind of shit that I really love Game Guru for. You can just do that. Why? Because why the fuck not? That's awesome. And I really wish I could have gone even more wild if I had, like, open source and shit, but, if it's a good idea, just never do it. Just complain and say that I have some ulterior motive, but I don't. Or say I'm just trying to fucking tank your reputation, even though you've done that plenty yourselves. But, whatever. Don't take accountability. Don't take any initiative to actually do anything better for your engine. Just blame random strangers you find on the internet and see how many bridges you burn until you're out of people who pay for your shit. And that's the approach they ultimately took. Rather unfortunate. I really liked this, and thankfully I've been able to take sort of the drag and drop approach with Unreal Engine and improve upon it and do some more of my own shit too. It's not terribly hard to actually replicate a lot of what Game Guru does in a better engine with even, you know, better technology and better performance behind it. But I guess Game Guru never really learned who they were competing with, and as a result they really all got themselves to blame. But yeah, here's parkour to the sky. Here we go. Let me turn that shit up. Up the cable. Yeah, this radio tower was not meant to be scaled up to be this big, but I don't really care, because this was a fun little bonus I added in. More parkour. The stairway to heaven, quite literally. And one detail, if you notice, the pallets are actually not reflected in the water, meaning that this is a hallucination. Meanwhile, the giant radio towers are. So currently what's happening is Marcus is suffering his final hallucination. Finally breaking the curse that Aurora put on him. Snapping out of it, if you will. Getting out of hell and finally ascending to heaven. Because that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I'm not particularly a religious person, but, you know, I believe that sinners go to heaven. Because you can't expect everybody to be perfect now. Hell, even God. But the reason why I put both pagan and haram imagery in the church is not so much for the sake of being shocking. That certainly helps, but what it's to show is how basic ideologies, basic recreational stuff, you know, beliefs, how basic fundamental aspects of society are falling apart, and in universe sort of making parallels to reality. People falling out of faith with their religion and other stuff like that. Running away from responsibilities only to find even more and worse. If only we knew. Her arms were open, but her heart was not.